Anyway, here, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, is a Chinese player able to fool his opponent trap in the previous best of 5. Can he do it twice in a row against another Korean Protoss? It's Z Gaming time! And in the top right, it's the red Protoss player instead, once again trying to revenge his full-length comrade. Here on Jagannafa is Dragon Phoenix Gaming, ZEST. Walling off the Reaper Cliff, cheeky play. We have a very different player in ZEST compared to Trap. It's probably going to be a very different series. Much more proactive and honestly a little better in defense as well. It's going to be going on to Stargate play. ZEST honestly recently kind of popping off. Not that Trap is a bad player, Trap is an incredible player. But I'm really playing incredibly good today. ZEST needs to play 100% at his best to fool his opponent in his best of 5 finals. Oracle first, trying to establish some map control, he says. Honestly, a very good choice, especially considering the bunker can be up so early as well as the cycling on a map such as Jagannafa compared to how much aggression you can pull up. ZEST doesn't play the early game as aggressive as Trap. He's gonna stay laid back for a little while, having his 2 adepts ready to greet anything coming, and then sending an Oracle through the map to gain well-needed map control and vision. Alright, is Oracle trying to get on top of the SCVs, stopping the stopper from going up, and it's a lock-on followed by a recall. Oracle barely survives the lock-on. Recall gets used, no Corona boost out of his second Nexus, but it's a third one already incoming. Where did the music go? Oh, here it comes. Hey, that's a good soundtrack. I know you have PTSD because the stream started like an hour after it was supposed to, but yeah, Ragnarok vs. Hurricane was a huge series in GSL. It was such a beautiful series. Don't regret that at all. But anyhow, there's a Raven incoming on ZEST side, while on Tank side, while ZEST adding up a lot of Phoenixes to try and get some map control of his own. It didn't really work out for Trap. Will it work out for ZEST? I'm not sure. If Time decides to play as proactive as he did before, which he's actually doing with his NG bait before the Threat Command Center, then it's going to be troubles for ZEST. It's actually a pretty strong economy nonetheless for Time. ZEST not really popping off yet on his third base. Now the Phoenixes show up as well as the Oracle. Lock-on gets instantly popped up on one of the Phoenixes, and ZEST is sent scattering with a Twilight Council incoming. He can establish a strong ground army before Time can really get a powerful attack going. Thank you for the gas, stay safe. ZEST struggling to find a way right now to get inside of the main base of Time. Units very well placed by Time, Revelation gets dropped, but these units do not find a way through. There's a Templar Archives incoming, as well as a lot of upgrades on Time side. It's a little bit of a tech race this time between those two players, but it really looks like ZEST wants to be the proactive one and stop his opponent in his truck before he can really do anything aggressive. Lifting units left and right, as well as a couple SCVs, stopping as much as possible. But there's a blue dot in the middle of the map that has been revelated by the Oracle, but is still marching its way past everything on his acceleration zones, getting very close to the natural obsessed before backing off. Doesn't want his position to be scouted. He wants the attack to strike when most unnoticed. And for now, he's just gonna back off. ZEST flies dangerously close to those units, drop another revelation, very well placed, before stopping this third command center from happening, at least for a little while. Time needs to stay on the defensive right now, while ZEST fully on the throttle. Oh, beautiful revelation forward, but there's another Widowmine behind that. Gets one big shot on all of the Phoenixes. 2 Widowmines go down, but very well placed units by Time will keep these units low. Lots of lift at disposal of ZEST. Lots of energy on these Phoenixes, and is keeping them alive. 4 SCVs gone, and look at the amount of Zealots up right now with charge. It's not gonna be easy at all for Time to deal a finishing blow. No SCVs being pulled to bulk for this army. The Manivacs are very exposed. They will be kept up by a steam forward. That means less energy. Meanwhile, the rest of the reinforcements get caught up by the Phoenixes, barely catching some of these. Beautiful anti-armor missile goes on top of all of these Zealots. Charge forward, as well as beautiful force fields will stop this army of Time from getting such a convenient engagement. Widowmines are very low enough. All of the army of ZEST is clashing on top of the one of Time right now. These Zealots too low on health. The 2 Archons still buffering so strongly for this army. These Phoenixes trying to get as close as possible, lifting so many units at a single time. Time needs to be sent scattering back home. He cannot face the army of his opponent. Archon's not really even caught up in business, and GG gets gold. Beautiful game by ZEST. So much aggression, so much defensive prowess, and it's gonna take the first game of this series. Honestly, it didn't really feel anything close. ZEST absolutely dominating this first game of the series. And now we're going on Oxide. Ooh. That's one way to start off this series. ZEST absolutely dominating this game, always on the proactive side of this matchup, always having a strong defense to back it off, and Time did his timing attack. The timing attack was almost looking like a desperation play, even if it was something planned from the get-go. And ZEST, beautiful micro throughout the whole fight. He didn't waste his Phoenixes, he didn't send them to die. He saved his energy for the lift just when he needed them, and then he was all done for Time. And now, second game with a huge mental advantage for the Protoss. Here we are. Spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Oxide is blue Terran player. He plays for Kaizi Gaming and needs to tie up the score. Can he do that? It is time. And on the opposite side of the map, the red Protoss is currently spawning. Leading the series 1-0. He plays for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is ZEST. can see this game already starting off with cut a banger. There is one Rex over here back home for time. Nothing too crazy really. But he's also setting up a proxy Rex over here. As you can see, there's a shield supply depot over here, blocking off vision out of ZEST, and ZEST knows something's up. 780 score before Nexus. He's of course the player right now, with time proxying that one single Rex. First Marine coming right up of the main Rex into the main. On the second Rex is ready to bring some reinforcements to that, and I'm very curious to what is going to be the follow-up right now, because it can be one of many things. Bullseye by Nia. Is it going to be bullseye for time as well with his proxy? He wants to have a lot of Marines well hidden, and he wants to add up a second command center to keep it up with the economy. This is going to be a very weird game, and that's for sure. He wants to stop ZEST from getting too comfortable with his target play, which is a good thing. But then again, is he going to be enough? He's going to have enough. What is this proxy for? Is it just a straight up full Marine attack? Because that is very weird. Especially with just his second refinery going up right now. It's a lot of Marines clamping up here in the top left. Oh yeah, he's making his way forward. He wants a late bunker into that ramp. He has enough Marines to buffer up. That's two adepts. Adepts can kite these Marines. Going on top of the ramp. One of the adepts is very bruised. He's going to go down. The probes need to be pulled into this. The one SCVs is very exposed though. It looks like probes and adepts are currently focusing down the Marines. That's a beautiful trade by time. And this bunker is going up. The late proxy Rex works, guys. You've heard it first over here. Shield batteries into the main. Now that's a full contain in the natural of ZEST with a Stargate play and a Void Ray going up. It's going to be very difficult for time to keep this up for a lot of time. But man, this is beautiful. The Void Ray, actually, you're looking for the reinforcements to stop them. That's a beautiful play with the shield battery going up into the main. But this Nexus is in a very dangerous position. Another bunker going up. This one Void Ray stopping all of the reinforcements from ever coming close, as well as in depth shading forward. It looks like ZEST doesn't really care for this Nexus at all. He wants to stop the rest of the army of his opponent and go for a counter right when he needs to. The Void Ray finally gets back home, as well as another Void Ray, double prismatic ray overcharge, and it looks like the contain has been broken. One Void Ray actually falls down. It's not too shabby on the side of time. It's been a bloodbath, guys. That's a lot of lost stuff for both players. This Rex is definitely not going to survive. And both players losing a lot into this. ZEST, though, lost a lot of money in time. And then can prove to be quite hurtful to him in the long run. Twilight Council coming right up. Stargate did its job with defending that proxy Rex. And now, it's time for ZEST to be on the proactive side of this match once more. Time went for a very aggressive, very unique play that worked out a lot in his favor in the beginning, but was easily cleared off once the Void Rays started clumping up. And now these two Void Rays are looking for blood. There's one cycling on defense, and it is going to stop this Void Ray from being too obnoxious. They're very fast. Going to get easily out of range of the lock-on before another lock-on can get his shit. And now ZEST is trying to top it up with Blink Stalkers before time can set up a strong army to go for another timing with these 3 Rex currently producing Marines and getting the key upgrades as well as +1 weapons. Alright, Void Rays flying back. Oh, actually, it's an Illusionary Phoenix, I'm sorry. Getting a little bit of scouting information. That's important scouting information. He's gonna catch the Marines moving out, actually. Huh. What does ZEST have back home to defend with this? Yes, Blink almost done with a bunch of Blink Stalkers. Yes, 2 shield batteries in the main, 1 in the natural. That's a lot of Marines with +1 Steam and combat shields soon to come up. These adepts are gonna get a beautiful, beautiful scouting information. And these force fields are gonna lock these Marines right after they steam. It's actually already a very solid start for ZEST. He needs to wait until +1 is done, or he needs to take a very advantageous trade. Time currently waiting for more reinforcements to come up, and they're gonna come up just when he needs them. ZEST setting up a little bit of a surround with his Stalkers. Can they catch the missing Medivacs? No, they can't. They're just gonna be stopping the reinforcements over here, but the recall needs to be issued because right now that's a lot of bio coming in a natural. ZEST steaming forward. So many units. Shield body overcharge doesn't do anything. Gets immediately killed by this astounding DPS force that Time is currently put up right here, right now. The shield batteries cannot keep up with the DPS this army has with Steam. So much has been falling down. The prods being pulled immediately fall to all of these 27 prods down the scene. And now these Marines fighting with the Stalkers. Beautiful game by Time. The score is tied once more. Incredible game by Time from start to finish. So proactive, so aggressive. Such a unique, interesting, and intelligent play by the Terran. And now we're going into game number 3 with a tied score. What is there to say, guys? This series, a banger. The series before this, a banger. The series before the one before this, another banger. Are we going to see another game number 5 situation? At this stage, honestly, it is absolutely possible. Both players incredibly strong, playing incredibly good, being incredibly clever with their builds as well. And now Time, tying up the score, gained a little bit of momentum to maybe get the match point. Whoever wins this is at match point, and it's Death Aura. One map that can easily turn the tides of any series. Let's see what is going to happen, guys. Game number 3. Here we are. Top left-hand corner of Death Aura is where the blue Terran is currently spawning. Playing for Kaizi Gaming. Can he do it twice in a row? Can he top 2 Korean Protoss in one full sweep? It is time. His opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, trying to stop that from happening, trying to get to match point himself. Will he do that here on Death Aura? Is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's very own ZEST. What a unique interaction between these probes and these SCVs. He just went right in, stole some mineral, and then went away. Didn't really even bother. And you know what is very weird? Time starting off a reactor immediately, without producing any single unit. Color me impressed, it's a full wall-off as well. I don't think Time can gain control of his low ground anytime soon. Or maybe he can. Yeah, it's double Marines. Marines are very fast to be produced. You can easily shake off the Adept. Why is everyone going for a Reaper first or a Marine first? When you can go for a Reactor and just not bother with anything, right? We've all been bamboozled by time, and his double is a fast reactor play. There is a Stargate incoming from ZEST on Death Aura, quite a usual play, big map, and his Phoenix play was absurdly clean in game number 1 on Jagannatha. Really curious to see if he can pull this off once more. That's a lot of Marines for defense already. Or maybe for aggression and purposes as well, who knows. It's a factory. I don't think it's gonna be... Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be 2 more Rexes and a command center. It's just gonna be a starport play right after. Oracle first, of course, trying to get up in the middle of the map, gain control, gain a little bit of damage as well. While Time is setting up a little bit of a Marine play of his own, trying to look for that Oracle. And actually, oh my goodness, he was so close to get that Oracle, so incredibly close. The Oracle flies away, ready to sweep here in a natural, and is not gonna find it much to defend. 3 Marines, enough to make him fly away. A Revelation gets dropped. Oh, his Medivac is currently following down the Oracle. Oracles are very, very fast. With SCV killed and a Mule killed, ZEST is gonna be content with just stepping out of the natural and advance to the later stages of the game with a Void Rain coming and a Twilight Council. Probably gonna be charge, I think. Again, Oracle into the main. The beam is activated. And 3 SCVs have gone down. Oh, the Medivac trying to intercept the Oracle. Yeah, doesn't really find it. Cheeky play by Time. Doesn't manage to find the Oracle. But right now, Time has a strong army. And he wants to do something with it. He's walking through the map. There is 1 Medivac with this, but it's actually very high in energy with 1 Viking to stop much from happening. These Adepts are gonna find themselves in a very, very awful spot. 3 Void Rays ready to stop the Cyclones and the tanks, but there are 2 Vikings to try and stop the Void Rays themselves. These Marines are not steaming, not yet. Team is not done, as you can see, but they're still dealing so much damage. Both tanks are actually going to fall, but so is every single unit for ZEST. Aside from this 1 Zealot and this 1 Void Ray, more units are gonna be warped in. Over here, there is no steam. Time knows that this is a difficult army to fight next to a shield battery, but still, outside of the range of that, he can try to trade with the Stalkers. Unfortunately, it doesn't go in his favor, but ZEST still takes a very bad trade, I'd say. Getting both tanks, getting both Vikings, getting a Cyclone, got all the key units, but it doesn't really have much working out for him, with a 3rd base already up for Time. ZEST wants to go for a counter. He has a lot of Zealots, he has Stalkers with Blink, but that's not gonna be an easy battle. There is 1 Medivac to top off these Marines, but there is no steam. ZEST needs to be very careful about this attack, because so many things can go so wrong so quickly. He's taking advantage of the acceleration zones to get his reinforcements right here, even without a Warp Prism, and now with these many charge lots, he wants to go all out. +1 almost done. He's gonna get on top of this tank. Tank goes down. The other tank is gonna be lifted by the 1 Phoenix, and these Marines are not happy to fight without that tank going ham on these Zealots, but still there is 1 Void Ray ready to keep up with the Vikings, ready to get the tank, the Zealot Hero Zealot in the bottom left. He's gonna take the trade. Here is 2 Stalkers and a Void Ray against nothing. Production is ready to top this off, but so many SCVs will die after this attack. ZEST takes an incredible trade, an incredible fight, an incredible choice. And with Micro, with his Phoenix, he's gonna be able to stop the tanks from ever getting damage. +1 units right now are gonna deal so much damage. 9 SCVs have been killed. Such a unique game once more. Here comes a scan over here in the bottom of the map to catch the economy of ZEST. And now Time knows he's so behind in economy. And now more Zealots are currently showing up. Another lift goes up on this one tank, which is going to get focused by the Void Ray. These Stalkers trying to get on top of the Medivac. The Medivac goes down. It's only the Viking standing against this Void Ray. Void Ray still stays alive, but so does the bunker. 10 more SCVs down into the sea, but these Marines keeping up with the defense. ZEST adding up more units. And it looks like the rules have shifted. The Protoss is playing like the Terran right now. Sending so many units in, getting so many backup tech. And the Ghost Academy is nowhere to be seen, with Storm almost done. More SCVs sniped down by these Phoenixes. But that's not the real problem. Economy heavily in the hands of ZEST. ZEST needs to wait for his stack to be up. And it's gonna be a disaster for Time, I think. Blink almost done, +2 almost done, as well as Storm. That's a powerful army. These tanks not gonna be able to do anything once they're lifted. And Marines are very bruised without a Medivac to top them off. ZEST setting up for the finishing blow. With a very powerful army. There's no War Prism with this. But there are still 2 sentries. Oh, there is a War Prism with this. Oh yeah, of course. The classic War Prism. High Templars in it and lots of Storms. Stormy weather incoming, guys. And ZEST is in full lead of this game. Ready to get this match point. Can he do that? Meanwhile, beautiful Storms. Catching so much off guard. He's gonna lose 2 White Templars. But actually just 1 White Templar to this. Morphing on Archon after getting 9 more SCVs down into the sink. ZEST carefully waiting for the right moment to strike. While Time is desperately clinging to what he has. Getting drilling close, getting +2/+2. ZEST full control of the map. Full scouting information with these observers. And now Time needs to pull up a crazy defense to be able to hold this 4th base, Shifting his whole army on this ramp, stairs, and low ground. Still gonna be very difficult for him to do much. High Templars once again storming down the mineral income. This Archon was morphed in a very awkward position, but ZEST was able to pull up enough attention to strike on the other side. 7 more SCVs have been killed. Meanwhile, a bunch of Zealots warped in here into the main. Production is in real danger. There's 1 tank going up, sieging into the main. Meanwhile, ZEST striking even at the orbital command. The planetary fortress, getting even more damage. The rest of the army of Time getting shifted into the main. It looks like Time just did a very solid defense. Actually balancing the scales of this army supply disadvantage, but workers still heavily in favor of ZEST. Same number of bases. There's still a War Prism alive. I feel like currently ZEST has lost a little bit too much gas. With the 4 Phoenix going down, the Templar going down, the Archon going down, the Oracle going down, and the 2 Void Rays going down. ZEST still keeping it up with his army supply. +3, almost done for his ground army against the +2/+2 of his opponent. +4/+3 has already started for Time as well. Well, he's about to be started as well. Start it. Oh, you need that time. Time, you need to start it. Oh my goodness. He's a very useful upgrade. It makes him survive much longer, but there's no time for that. The armies are collapsing right here. A blink forward, lifting up the tanks. It's so much wreckage. The Archons cannot get anywhere close to that. And ZEST loses a big fight. A very important fight. And now that Ghosts can finally come out with their EMPs ready to clash. Is there enough time? There are two Colossi out with this. There's no extended thermal lens, but this is still a very bruised bio army. SCV is pulled into the fight. He's just doing this. It's such a close and clutch fight. One of the Colossi actually falls, 19 SCVs down the sink, but the Marines actually stand up tough, steaming forward, so bruised. Extended thermal lens about to be done. The last Colossus still up and standing. Beautiful micro by ZEST with his Warp Prism. And in the end, even after an horrendous start of the fight, ZEST is able to keep it up with micro long enough to stay ahead in army. Well, now he's ahead in army supply. And keep one of his Colossi up and standing. 3 more Archons morphed right over here, but now the upgrade disadvantage is about to be cancelled. Ghost's EMP Shockwave is in the production tab, and now ZEST needs to be very careful. Time wants to move out. It's a whole Protoss army waiting for him. A scan gets used to see what exactly is about to strike him. And the army supply disadvantage is getting bigger by the minute. Warp Prism speed as well. To double it up on this aggressive playstyle. Ship weapons for the Vikings to be able to snipe down the Colossi, the Void Ray, and the Warp Prism before they get too much value. But the real issue is on the ground. Shockwave EMP almost done. He needs to buy himself a little bit more time for these ghosts to actually deal the finishing blow to the army of, well, deal the initial blow to the army of ZEST and lower those shields. Bring these Colossi to Red Elf with just the cast of a spell. Shockwave EMP is done. The tanks are very well positioned. Can he blink forward? He does, but EMPs go still on top of all of the most important units. Beautiful storms going on top of everything. There's no more EMPs. These Colossi are way out of arm's range. And now ZEST comes in clutch with the Colossi. More Zealots warped in by the Warp Prism. These Colossi falling one after the other to the Vikings. But the ground army is too strong. ZEST takes game number 3. Such a long bleed for time. But in the end, he wasn't able to match the aggression that ZEST was pulling up consistently. We're going on light shade for game number 4. And the Protoss player is currently leading the series with a match point 2-1. Best of 5 series again, guys, is this finals because it's 1:30 a.m. in Korea, so these players are probably pretty tired. And ZEST can close the deal right here on Lightshade. Let's see if he's able to do that. It's been one heck of a run this far, guys. Incredible tournament today. So many beautiful series. We're close to the end of these finals. Let's see if time can prolong this series a little bit more, bring it to the game number 5, or if ZEST will be able to close the deal here on Lightshade. Countdown has started, countdown has also finished. It's time to get into the 4th set of this best of 5 series. Here we are, guys. For the blue Tyrant spawning in the bottom right hand corner, it's do or die on Lightshade. He needs 2 in a row. Can he do that? Playing for Kazi Gaming. It is time! Here is his opponent, the Red Protoss. in the top left-hand corner instead. Playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. He needs one victory out of these two next sets. Make some noise for ZEST. Oh yeah, okay. Finally, this probe is doing something. It was just waiting there. Meanwhile, ZEST setting up his natural right after the 7-8 score again, just to be safe. Better safe than sorry. I guess a player such as Time who can play such strong, proactive, aggressive play in the early game. Is one Marine easily gonna fend off the probe. Sent scattering back home. Oh my. It's such a tense moment right now for both players. Really need to pull up the best build they can possibly do. The Stargate plays out of ZEST have been absolutely clutch throughout the series. So many beautiful plays. Even after lost trades, he was able to come right up with beautiful plays and close out the deals in the 2 games he won. But this time he wants to start it off a little bit different. He went for the Twilight Council opener, the standard opener in this matchup, which has become so much more back and forth. Is this going to be Glaives? That's a very fast robo. You don't want to get a robo with Blink, you want to get 4 gateways. And at least 3 gateways. And have a lot of Stalkers at the ready. But with this robo being up, ZEST is making me wonder. He's adding up one more gateway, he's saving up gas. Dark Shrine it is, guys. Dark Shrine play from ZEST. Archon drop, to be more precise, is going to be the name of the play from the Protoss player. A blast from the past. And Time needs to be very careful against this because the whole of his defenses is gonna be right here in the natural. And without a Cyclone, it's very little that can top off what Word Prism and Archons can do. Of course there is a Raven. Raven, very useful play, especially from getting vision for the Dark Templars before they can do anything. It's probably going to be straight up Archons in the play for ZEST. I won't imagine it being anything different than this. But of course, ZEST is one of those players who can always surprise us with some crazy Dark Templars play, even when your opponent has vision. Well, detection more than vision. Alright, no Cyclone it is. Double wrecked, just getting that steam as quick as possible. And the third Nexus coming right up for ZEST. Meanwhile, Dark Templars here. 1 in the natural, 2 in the main. Time does have vision of that scan in the natural to stop that. Meanwhile, the Raven in the main. Oh, beautiful Widowmine shot! Takes one of the Dark Templars, and the other gets killed by the Marines in a bunker. Horrendous trade by ZEST, losing 2 Dark Templars, not even morphing them into Archons. And now the whole play out of ZEST is in a very dangerous spot. He's gonna be morphing Archons very soon, I feel. Is he? Yeah, he is. Here comes the first Archon, here comes the second Archon. Trying to deal more damage. Time, of course, is eagerly waiting for that. With a Widowmine over here, and these Marines and Raven over here instead. Can he get an Interference Matrix on top of that? Oh my goodness, the Warp Prism almost dies. 12 health. Raven trying to get on top of that. Oh, it's so close. These two Archons need to stay out of harm's way. Oh, Zest, don't do that. Don't lose two Archons in a War Prism. Oh my. Ooh. That's a dangerous position for Zest to be in. Just gets outside of range, sends his War Prism over here in the top right. There's one observer getting vision of what's happening in the natural. Zest wants to go for the main. No, not over there. Oh my. Please don't. Please. Oh, okay. He manages to drop. Windman shot gets on top of. Oh yeah. Alright. This is almost a disaster. War Prism able to get away. Oh my god. This is so tense. This is so tense. Meanwhile, a double Mediva drop ready to get into the main of Zest. There's not much for defense actually. Blink almost done. Almost, not completely though. These Archons need to bulk up before the War Prism can collect them and get outside of harm's way. Oh, that's a dangerous way to walk in. Oh my god, the War Prism falls down. Zest loses both Archons and the War Prism. That's a horrendous spot to be in. We were all waiting for that moment to happen. We knew that would have happened. That War Prism had too little health. These two Immortals cannot do absolutely anything. Riven goes down, but 3 actually. Auto turret gets dropped down to bulk up with this army. Meanwhile, the rest of the army of time is blinking, steaming forward on top of this mineral line, getting so much damage. Yeah, it gets cleared in the end. That's a loss for both players, I'd say, but Zest have been replenishing his forces. Time, not really. I guess the 2 Medivacs in the main were actually cleared. Ooh. Zest still in this game, guys. Time has a strong army, but so does the Protoss. Blink is done. There's Guardian Shield for this army to buffer up. Meanwhile, Steam gets used, but the force field traps many of these units over here. 2 SCVs have been falling. The War Prism out of harm's way can still replenish his forces. There's so many Stalkers, not even with +1. They're still out trading the army of time with proper blink. One more of these Widowmine falls, and Zest takes the series after what has been the most absurd game this far.